Dedication. It was early May 1985. I had just returned from college at the State University of New York at Geneseo. The 10-week period between February 8th and April 20th, which is the focus of this book, had been the strangest, most horrifying time of my life, and I was quite relieved to have survived it. Once unpacked, one of my first thoughts was to visit my great-grandmother, who was by then in her 80s. She was a humble and plain woman by almost any contemporary standard, but only a primary school education, no career other than tending to her family, and standing at less than 5 feet in height. But there should be no indignity in that. Roses. My great-grandmother loved roses. In the heart of the ghetto on the eastern side of the city of Newburgh, New York, the site of numerous recent FBI anti-gang raids, you could find her rose garden. Nestled between untended debris-strewn dirt, lots in any direction the eye dared to look, she would methodically make her way with a spouted watering can in one hand, trimming shears in the other, to her beloved floral sanctuary. My great-grandfather, Pascal, had passed away almost a decade earlier, shortly after their 50th wedding anniversary. She should have been moved out of the area long before, and more than a few relatives had become exasperated trying to convince her, but she steadfastly refused. I parked in front of her aging but well-maintained 2-story home. She made me some homemade meatball and rice soup, after which I set out to mow the grass of her tiny back lawn. I enjoyed speaking with her, as she always seemed thankful for the company. As I wheeled the old lawnmower out of the basement, she stopped me, pulled my hand into hers, and with a quiet, steady determination led me to the thicket patch of red petals. "Do you remember what I told you when you were little, honey?" she asked me, her gray aging eyes staring intently into mine through her wire-rimmed glasses. "About flowers being like children?" I asked. "That's right, honey," she smiled. Her eyes grew bright, and she nodded her head in approval. "Tell me." The conversation that she was making reference to had occurred in a similar spot when I was a mere 4 years old. It remains one of my first cogent memories. I had mistaken a plastic decorative grape for the real thing, and almost immediately began to choke on it. My great-grandmother retrieved the object from my mouth and later informed me that not everything that looks real is. That alarming thought would replay itself time and again in my mind as I journeyed through adolescence, through the haunting, and well into adulthood. We made our way out to her garden. It was a stinging hot, bright summer day, and I was startled by a blue-tinted dragonfly that flew noisily past my face just before she placed my child's fingers onto several rose petals. "Flowers are like children," she had whispered gently to me. "If you talk to them and teach them and feed them, they will grow." She was looking directly into my eyes. I clearly remember nodding in order to communicate that I understood her, even if I didn't. But even at the tender age of 4, I knew that this was something special. I relayed the story back to her now, some 16 years later. She puckered her lips and kissed me firmly on the cheek. "Good boy." Then, as she disappeared back into the silence of the old home, I cut the grass. My great-grandmother is gone now. Her roses are gone too. I can no longer physically show you either, but she and her rose garden still lives on inside of me. I hope to share them with you. This book is dedicated to Mary Rose DeCesare and all of her flowers, (children).